A Dip at Southport by Sam Fitton. When John Tommy Taylor were quite a young lad, folks said he were pretty and fathered his dad. He'd a small chubby nose and some nice curly hair. He sucked both his thumbs and he crawled upon floor. Though his parents get sick of his bother and din, they said he were nicest that ever was seen. In a 2-3 years he got tired at pap, and he started in world as a decent young chap. He blacked his own shoon and he earned his own peck, and he made more palaver in washing his neck. He wore stun-up collars, his cuffs were to match. He spent half an hour in combing his thatch, which weren't so curly as when he were young, but he'd seen a nice girl, and he weren't so long, afore he were trying to make her see him, and that's why he made hisself pratty and prim. He thought he were nice, but some called him a calf, and said when he were young he were nice about thouth. This wench very oft used to meet him in street, and once when he were passing he shouted, "Good neat," and then he went home quite contented at heart, and thought, "Come, I'm no one doing bad for a start." They acted like this for the best part of a week, so one night he stopped her, he'd getten more cheek. He said, "Now I say, is thy brother cowed Nat?" Who answered, "Aye, that he is, what about that?" "Nay, now," he replied, "but I thought I were right." He paused and then said, "It's a very nice name." "It is," said Sophia, for that were her name. "If it's like this to morn, at night, that'll be same." They talked on a bit, and then Johnny said, "Come, there'll be Cowle stonning here, I'll go with thee home." They billed and they cooed, and he called her a dove. He gave her a kiss, and he towed her his love. "I like thee," said Johnny, and then scrat his yed. "Well, tell me, Sophia," who blushed and who said, "Why, what made thee think about going with me? I can't say I ever thought much about thee. I like thee a bit, for thou art known a foul lad. I better say aye, if thou wants me so bad." They walked out together, and one Sunday night, who took him in th' house, and they made it all right, and then begun kissing and squeezing and fun, but I needn't say more, for you know how it's done. However, these two were quite happy and gay. They called themselves courting, so one summer's day, they went down to Southport to have a nice out. They landed all right and went linking about. They had a ha'porth of that and a penn'orth of this, then went up at Sands, and they thought it were bliss. They pooed off their stockings and paddled in brook, till they felt it were time they were having some chuck. They went in a shop to get summat to eat. They'd pratters cowed and some very dry meat. They'd a bottle of pop and some Wimbury cake, and then they went out for a row up at lake. Now Johnny had ne'er been on waiter afore, so he felt rather awkward at using an oar. They get in a boat, and they tried to row out, but the rickety cockleshell wobbled about, and John Tommy, being a rickety chap, he flopped on his girl with his yed in her lap. "Now then," says Sophia, "what art trying on? Can't thou see as them fellies is watching thee, mon?" Some fellies were watching, and didn't they laugh, and then started throwing their slur and their chaff. "Get a donkey to poo it," said one with a yell. "All right," said John Tommy, "come poo it thyself." "Shut up," said his girl, "tak no garm of their bother. Thou mun get out and shove it," then shouted another. "I'll get out and shove thee on nose in a bit," said Johnny, but the jokers were nearly split. They shouted and laughed till they rented their throat, but the lad kept on writhing and tugging at both. "Just a year," shouted one. "Thou's a gradely nice girl. Get out and I'll give her a bit of a twirl." "Thee trite dobby horses," said the chap with a sneer, "who'd be rather safer nor stopping in there." Now John Tommy Taylor were no one a bad sort. He were fond of a joke or a bit of good sport, but their insulting language were rather too bad, and when he see girl laughing too, he get mad. He upped his oar and he swung it about. He darted at felly to fotch him a clout. But he what a boust he had, oh what a bore. He toppled him boat and he tippled it o'er. And then they were kicking and swearing and dashing, and Jack and Sophia were bobbing and splashing, and the fellas were shouting and yelling and chaffing, and everybody was screaming and laughing. And what a carnival, what a spree, as good as a circus, I think you'll agree. However, this waiter were knowing very deep, and the audience stopped 'em from going to sleep. Sophia were yelling like one of her jump, and the fellas were shouting all hands to the pump, and when they get tired of 'em bobbing about, they cocked 'em back year and bundled 'em out. To stop and be laughed at would do 'em no good, so they ran to their lodgings as hard as they could. John Tommy were blue, but Sophia were bluer, who said, I'll ha' nowt to do with thee no more. Thou'm goo where thou likes, for I don't care a rap. I wanted no churn yet, I wanted a chap. And then they'd a row and a jolly good cry, but they get thick again when their clothes were dry. They ain't getting wet now, and they laugh till they ache, when they talk of that day when they tumbled in th' lake.